Manan from
Shri
iipa.
S.M. Tripathi sir and Amitabh Ranjan sir. The faith, the kind of faith which has been reposed in me is really doing wonders for my level of confidence, and whatever invitation we people have, we are going to come out with it. With this, I greet once again respected Tripathi sir, respected Amitabh Ranjan sir, Mithun Barua sir, and all the gathered members and the other stakeholders as far as the regional branches of IIP is concerned. And we really do it very nicely, and we are good hosts. We can boast of being a good host with the aplomb and the encouragement that is given to us by Tripathi sir and Amitabh Ranjan sir. So the theme which has been so nicely given to me happens to be that of emerging trends in public policy and public administration. As sir has already said, speaking anything anywhere. So in the same parlance, I would like to come out with this brief idea that my spouse also happens to be an MPhil in public administration. But you know, being in international relations, being a student of foreign policy and diplomacy, we use the nomenclature of PABAD. I'm not saying derogatorily, but something which is not so important, because we are dealing with public policy which is taught in Ivy League institutions such as Harvard, Cornell, and the Fletcher School of Government, Johns Hopkins School of Governance. So it is about participation, and I would straight away jump to a scholar. I'll let on to a scholar to propel myself forward. That is David Easton. And he has been a political scientist. And he has talked about something which is the fundamental premise of political science. As Tripathi sir is also a student and scholar of political science, wherein the stereotypical and the quintessential process, wherein first of all we talk about public policy. We refer to public policy where the ace and much decorated bureaucrats and the mandarins of the nation, they sit together with the political leadership of the day, and they actually look into the schemata, the grandiose developmental schemata of the country, that how everything should be participatory in nature, and there should be a very amicable and benevolent and non-hegemonic interface. Sir also always stresses on it, which is non-colonial and post-colonial in nature, wherein the people's welfare through new idioms promoted by the Indian Prime Minister, such as entrepreneurship and other techniques, that is the advent of the creative economy or the orange economy, or maybe the technique of the artificial intelligence and the digitization of governance to make it easier, happier, more comfy and more chirpy for people. So with this kind of a background, I was referring to the David Estonian construct, theoretical construct, wherein inputs are there, the much decorated mandarins of the nation, they give the inputs and they create a game plan for the country. They prepare a schemata for the country, and then it goes inside the black box. We all are great scholars of PubAd, but that way, this is my humble understanding which I present before you. So the idea is that then the process moves around in the blocks. People ruminate over it. Schemes are executed for the people, for the general hoi polloi of the country, and then once whatever might be the results of it, whether it's in the affirmative or whether it's in the negative, that comes out through the through the feedback. It is a loop which is created. Wherein the feedback goes all the way to the mandarins, to our political leadership once again, and that way the circularity goes on. The circularity extends itself all in the name of Ram Raj, or an unique perspective of governance. Because since 2014, with all respect, we have been talking about an unique perspective, a Bharatiya perspective of governance and foreign policy. So that kind of transparency and a 360-degree nature of governance becomes the order of the day. So this was generally the idea which I would latch on to, and the monograph, to be more precise, deals with the emerging trends in public administration, ranging from digitalization and cyber warfare to new public management, criminal justice reform, which normally we tend to move out from as being academics. It's relegated to the back burner. The orange economy, something which has conspired in my room, which might be something new for all of us. The monograph argues that the ever-present and fast augmenting challenges of poverty, population rise have vastly transformed the discipline of public of policy, inviting redressal on the part of the government of the day. So once again we come to the this particular idea. So scholars have written very profusely about it. Scholars which come to my mind right now, we keep on doing it very regularly at iipa, in our library and in our laptops. Rajesh Chakravarti and Professor Kaushiki Sanya. They are on Akamagalu, and people scholars like Leonard White and Daniel Brand. These are the what you call the commonalities which we cannot escape from. So they brought about this singularity that it is within the difference or the what you call the schism which lies between public policy and public administration. So at that particular point of time, it is in this twilight zone. It lies in the interstices of this exchange of ideas and transition from public policy to public administration, that the real crux of governance lies here. So this is something which I have made a very humble attempt to understand. So when we talk about new trends, and these scholars have also talked about the fact that why do we need new trends in public policy and public administration. The idea is that there was this conference which took place around 30 to 40 years back, wherein it was decided by a Western scholar that there needs to be the idea of technique. There needs to be an idea of technique, that is technology, something which can really bring the government closer to the doorsteps of the hoi polloi, the populace. Now we are not doing anything new, that is not the issue. The issue is that new trends have emerged, and sometimes the traditional, and if I were to use the word statist in a positive sense, or the orthodox and the conventional idea of governance creates a distance or creates a kind of a hiatus between what you call the people, the governed, and the government of the day. It is because of these differences, lack of a loop which can really be smooth, transparent, and very malleable and ductile for the larger welfare of the people, that certain new things became started or were initialized. They started emerging as far as standard quintessential public administration and public policy is concerned. So if we move away out of that, I am not talking about the spirit of power as I initially mentioned it, but still, if you look into the new trends, we can definitely also talk about orange economy or something which is related to the MIM, that is the military, industry, and the media complex. Now here it came as a great surprise to me that the total worth of the M&E complex, that is the what you call the media and the entertainment complex, it amounts to a very healthy and a what you call a astronomical figure of $42 billion. Now I would just take an aside for just a couple of minutes, wherein I would say that because I happen to be an incorrigible student of international relations, so President Donald Trump, how he is hobnobbing with the political leadership in Pakistan, Shahbaz Sharif, and how he is giving a place to people like Shahbaz Sharif to launch diatribes against India from a place called as Tampa in Florida. That kind of a thing. So now they have recently, just a couple of days back, I am talking in the context of the creative economy or the orange economy. So this kind of unofficial, unconventional, and unorthodox and avant-garde kind of a doctrine is something which is ruling the roost. So coming back to President Donald Trump, they have inked the treaty with the new Prime Minister of Japan, wherein America is going out in a very blatant and a bland manner to once again grasp the natural resources, the bounty of the earth. Because as we know, once again, harking back to the orange economy, we can go on to contend that these are the rare earth elements. These are the critical elements right from the fracking process which goes on in America for petroleum refinement and petroleum related matters, all the way down to something which is very commonly available with even a 5-year-old, 2-year kid in our country now, a laptop, a mobile, a cell phone, and other intricacies such as space exploration and other attendant things. So the America, unfortunately, does not have that source. In the phase of containment, in the stratagem of containing China and creating a strategic space for itself, it is all interrelated. The Americans are going from one node to the other to once again create a kind of a post-colonial or something, a post-age solution to the world's administrative and organizational problems and challenges. So you know what I conjured up very hesitantly and tentatively, I am just humbly presenting it before you. That is the idea of orange economy, where the MIM complex unfortunately still rules the rules. The deep state is there, but because the value change of the entire political economy and the other economic ecosystem or systems are there. So this is the lifeblood. Orange economy and the creative economy happens to be the lifeblood, and as economics is also it comes definitively under the rubric of public administration and also under the rubric of academic discussion, both within the academia and with the honorable bureaucrats of the day. So this can be no longer relegated to a significant word like rare earths or critical minerals, because the media has always been there, the complex with the military has always been there. Now once again a Western perspective, I apologize for that. You know, other themes, the new challenges, the new changes, because the world has transformed. A lot of convergence, interdependence and globalization has gone on, because of which there has to be a change. And as sir very nicely mentioned, I am not being academic here. The idea that techne or the digital rendering of public service has become very prominent. Now we can look back to the case study of to the example or instance of Bill Gates and these people, wherein they were dropouts from Harvard, and everything said that this guy is not going to do anything in the life. He is going to be a Luftmensch, he is going to be a lethargic person, and he won't be able to contribute to the general local American or the global AI complex as we learned it. But cloud they invented, cloud computing they invented, the attendant money cycles, the money chains they invented, and such last benchers and such people who are not taken very seriously and sincerely, they happen to chart out a trajectory. So when we talk of the new challenges, because everything lies in the realm of immediacy. Another 5 minutes. Yes. Now this is everything lies in the realm of immediateness or immediacy, wherein we can go on to contend that yes, the moment we click on our mobile, we transfer our money for our LIC policy, and all such goodies are there. Now the greatest magical moment which has occurred as the second emerging trend in public administration happens to be that of a DigiLocker, where we don't have to run around with our documents and keep them in yellowed stages, you know, the old pages of the house, the old stores and wares of the house. But the government has taken the responsibility of bringing these documents and maintaining a kind of an archive or a storehouse, which might seem very ordinary. But you know, when practically on a day-to-day, routinized, ritual kind of an approach, this is a boon to the people. Now the person, or you know, the chola and kulche wala whom I visit sometimes near IIPA, that he will get his money through the Jan Dhan account, something the unorthodox economy, the unofficial part of the entrepreneurs. I call them entrepreneurs. They are benefited greatly. So the manner in which services can be delivered both materially and intangibly has become the forte of the present government. We are not saying that it was not present earlier, but the pace which has been engendered, the kind of influx of ideas and execution is really exemplary. I will just take a couple of minutes, sir. So we could have had a look at the history of public administration. Here briefly I will mention about Lichavis, the Maurya Empire, but it all emanated unfortunately or practically speaking from the Greek polis or the Roman apparatus, wherein small is beautiful has always been the key phrase or nomenclature, where a discrimination or a management of populations, different sects staying together in a polis, and how they manage the defense of the country, how they manage the granary, how they look into the sewage system, how they manage it, how they create it, all that kind of a thing can be said about public administration, because governance is the order of the day, and people friendly and immediacy in government is something which can be viewed as a trend. I'll be very quick now. Orange economy we have talked about here, the manner in which NDA complex, so I won't go deep into it. We all are scholars and good students of public policy. And the geopolitics and pervade. This also happens to be a trend as far as the public administration is concerned, where it is not about the state domesticity, but how the various and the myriad governments, regimes, and even transnational non-state actors are involved in the day-to-day transactional pro procure. As far as governance is concerned, that also becomes part of a challenge, and that also becomes a part of an area where we as students of public policy need to work hard, because as we take lectures to very honored senior in front of them, the bureaucrats, nobody wants a Greek police to be told to them at 9 o'clock in the morning. At 9:30 in the morning, they need results, they are outcome oriented, and the new trends will be good for them. So automation we have talked about, the Indian perspective we have referred to, and to culminate, I would just say once again go on a repetitive index that NPA, reforms in the criminal justice system, digital precursors, and threats in the realm of cyber security. That is also one of the things, one of the new trends, one of the new ordeals of the government of the day, which needs to be harnessed by both the security and the non-security agencies of the country. Climate change I missed out on, unfortunately. Sustainability is the buzzword. So with all these new ideas and new idioms, one can really chart out a good praxis solution for the people of the country. And I'm not being idealistic. And we can also inculcate the same for classroom discussions and other kinds of deliberations that go on between teachers and generally in the academia. I once again, I just culminate here and extend my heartfelt